Hello and welcome to this essential oil question and answer period. Hi, my name is Jessie. I'm an aromatherapist by training, and I like to create no nonsense essential oil content here on YouTube as well as on Instagram. Before we get started, I want to say a few things. First of all, if you are live here with us, feel free to ask any questions. Of course, I've compiled different questions from my Instagram story and different kind of YouTube comments, but feel free to ask any questions if you're here. Secondly, as always, you guys know that I'm an affiliate with Revive and Plant Therapy. So if you are planning on using or buying from any of these companies, feel free to use my link. This is something that really helps me out, really supports me, and has allowed me to do videos on YouTube. Next, quick disclaimer. As always, I am not your aromatherapist. However, I do like to share different information, answer different questions, just so that people are empowered to make choices for themselves. At the end of the day, it's important for you to do your own research, but I love sharing what I know just to help guide you guys with different questions you have. Without further ado, let's jump into the questions that you guys have given me. So the first one is it possible to find information on what to use, or it is possible to find info on what oil to use on what? So if you guys know, if you use any reference books, you basically look up what you want to use an essential oil for. Boom, there's a list of different essential oils. I have a whole video on my top essential oil books. I have a few of them actually. So you know which kind of reference books she's probably referring to. She said, but how do you know how to use it? So there's some essential oil books that will say, like, here's a recipe, here's how to use it. But I'll give you some main guidelines, main kind of advice that will help you decide how are you supposed to use the essential oil. So I've mentioned this, I think, in my video, 21 things most people don't know about essential oil. So if you have not watched it, feel free to check it out. I'll try to link it in the description after I hang up on this live. But in a nutshell, if you're talking about emotions, feelings, concentration, you want to work on focus or your different energy levels, a lot of the times you're looking at the aromatic usage of essential oils, just smelling it, inhaling it. This can look like smelling directly from the bottle if you just kind of want a quick pick me up and you choose peppermint. Of course, knowing that peppermint's not safe for everyone, especially not kids. Or if you have like an aromatherapy inhaler, I have a playlist on aromatherapy sticks, aromatherapy inhalers, diffusing. It's another way of using essential oils aromatically, right? Again, aromatically, just breathing in the essential oil. When we're talking about things that are more physical, let's say like your muscles, your joints, things that are like you could say are physical, like your skin or whatever. Of course, with skin, a lot of the times it has to do with your diet. But when it's physical, a lot of the times it takes putting essential oils on the area of concern. So let's say I slept funny and I can feel something on my shoulder, like it just doesn't feel right. That's when topical usage, so applying the essential oil on the area of concern, can be really helpful. Of course, you know how my motto is with safety, or my tendencies would be to always dilute, generally speaking, when you're applying essential oils to your body. This is for safety reasons, and this is also to help cover an area. Because if you just have one drop, how far can you really move it, right? But if you have one drop and a bunch of carrier oil, you can cover your whole shoulder or back or whatever you're looking for. So just to recap, is it emotions? Is it something that is, has to do with focus, energy, and all that kind of stuff, aromatically, generally speaking, or physical, if it's physically related, you're going to want to apply it physically on your body, generally speaking, where you have the concerns. Next one, it kind of is, it's from the same person, similar question, but I'll go into a little more in depth. So, how to use essential oils for emotions? Like I mentioned, when we're talking about emotions, usually it's aromatically. So, like I said, diffusing, using an aromatherapy inhaler, an aroma stick, smelling directly from the bottle, and so on and so on. However, just because it's generally recommended as aromatic doesn't mean that you can't use it um, topically. I see a lot of people creating roller balls where it's basically like it has like a roller ball and essential oils and carrier oil, and then you rub it on your body. It's kind of like perfume. Um, you can use that as well. You're still going to reap the benefits aromatically by smelling it. So emotions aromatically, but you can also use it topically. Maybe you are like, whoa, I'm really like feeling tense and I want to just really relax. You can also take a bath, get, a cup of Epsom salt, put it in your bath, get a tablespoon of carrier oil with, like 3 to 10 drops of essential oil, such as like a relaxing oil, like lavender, maybe frankincense. Frankincense and lavender have been like something really powerful for me, or just any kind of essential oil that is, is meeting your emotional need. And like I've mentioned there's different essential oil books that are recommended for emotions. So The Fragrant Mind by Valerie Ann Warwood's a really good book. I always have the links to my favorite books down in the description. So feel free to check it out. I'm hoping that helps. I'm hoping that makes sense. I'm trying not to spend too much time on a question just in case I'm starting to bore people watching the replay, but I'm hoping that is jam packed with information on practical ways to use essential oil. Okay, next one. Someone said on Instagram, they said, I have a puppy. What oils should I avoid diffusing? I've mentioned this earlier, I think, but in my certification program, we actually did not talk about animals at all. So in that sense, my specific training does not touch on animals, which oils to use, which oils to avoid. Um, what I will say though is that I have put linked down in the description some blogs from a company that I have a lot of confidence in terms of safety. So Plant Therapy Blog. I ask that if you click the links down below, that you don't do it directly when you're on my video, just because YouTube will like algorithmically punish me. So feel free to copy them and paste them after you've already left YouTube. Ideally, this is not the last video you watch on YouTube. But yeah, check it out. And there's different, I don't know if you know this, but Plant Therapy actually has a pup and pony line. So essential oils that are technically, I think they're actually made to be used for animals. But not only that, when you look at different essential oils on their website, it will say pup and pony safe, yes or no. Safe for pregnancy and nursing, yes or no. Safe for kids, yes or no. So like, I really like that Plant Therapy has that, and I'd be more likely and inclined to trust what Plant Therapy says on their product pages and their blogs than a lot of people on the internet. That even though there's a lot of people on the internet that talk with a lot of confidence about essential oils, um, not everything that's said is true, and that's why I find it really tricky, especially when they talk about animals, because for me, I don't really know what's right and what's wrong. Um, but I've heard a lot of things. I've heard a lot of contradicting stuff as well. But yeah, that would be my advice if I was you. I know with pets, there's some people I've heard, at least one aromatherapist that I went to see give a webinar on this. And, there's different schools of thought. For her, I think she's really like, if you're going to even clean with essential oils, let the whole apartment or the house air out before getting your dog back in. For me, that's personally not something I would, you know, go that extreme to, but I respect that people have their own convictions on how to use essential oils. I mean, people have like, what do you call those things that people like, the chemical things people plug into the wall? I said Febreze or whatever, Glad or whatever. I mean, people use that in their house with their dogs. So I'm like, that's probably more concerning than just cleaning with your essential oils. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's up to you to make your own choice. But for me, I don't have dogs. But if I did, I don't think I'd be super, super concerned about using essential oils around dogs. But I would, like you said, be asking questions like, are there oils to avoid? So links are down below for the blog post. Next question. Again, if you guys have questions, feel free to ask them in the comment section. This one I got, I was gonna make a quick little reel, a quick little Instagram story to respond, but it's just so long that I just can't even talk about it all in like 60 seconds. So it is essential oils that are not kid safe, which I'll tell you what that means after. Is it true that they should not even be diffused around children, or are they just not to be used topically? This is a really good question. First of all, I want to say, what does she mean by kid safe? She's referring to the Plant Therapy Kid Safe line, because I want to be honest, I've said this in my other videos, there are a lot of essential oil companies that have kids lines, even say that they're safe for kids lines, or they'll say that all their essential oils are safe for kids. A lot of times it's just a marketing thing. And there's a lot of kids lines in aromatherapy and different companies that I don't trust, that I would not use on my kids when they have kids. I'm just saying. So, but Plant Therapy's kids line is something, their kid safe line is something that I say kid safe like that because it is kid safe, but it's the trademark. Their kid safe line is something I trust. So Plant Therapy's kid safe line, I trust. But this question is going a little bit more deeper. So she's asking, for these Plant Therapy kid safe essential oils, is it just that they're not supposed to be used topically? Is it that they should not be diffused either? What is this? And that's when the question gets a little more difficult. And I say it depends. This is because different essential oils that are not recommended for children are not recommended for children for different reasons. For example, let's get a book out. Let's get a book out. I'm going to get a book out. I think I'm going to take you with me. I'm going to get my essential oil safety book. And for those who have ever bought this book, whether it be through my link or not, we're actually going to look it up just because I want people to be able to be more autonomous. Like if they want to be like, well, I want to look for this information on my own. How do I do it? I want to share with you because I don't know how long I'll be doing these videos on YouTube, just because I told you guys I'm making videos on YouTube until March 2023 to see if my channel's successful. And if not, I might take a break or stop. So I want you guys to be empowered. So let's give an example. Let's say you have this book with you. Go to chapter 13. Chapter 13 is the part where you're going to be looking at essential oil by essential oil. What's the safety around that essential oil? And we're going to look up clove. I'm just kind of making this up as I go, but I do know a little bit about different essential oil safety stuff, like off the top of my head. So let's look up clove. If you're looking at this with me, again, chapter 13. And you're going to go to page 254. And it says clove. Let's take a look at this, for example. So you look at the safety summary, it's actually on page 255. You'll see that clove is actually, it says cautions for children under 2 years of age, dermal. So caution, dermal. I don't know if this makes sense. So dermal is like on your skin. So basically for hypersensitive disease or damaged skin or children under 2 years of age, you're not supposed to be using clove. It's recommended not. So that being said, for your question, clove can technically be diffused, right? If you're looking at what a lot of English aromatherapists will say, they'll say clove could be diffused, but the reason why it's unsafe for children under 2 is more of a safety concern dermally, so on the skin topically. So you see that essential oil, yeah, I don't think a lot of aromatherapists will be concerned about diffusing clove. They might, but it really depends. Like you'll see different aromatherapists will have different views on different safety profiles of essential oils, but generally speaking, people defer to tisserand. Whereas if you look up, for example, eucalyptus globulus, eucalyptus, another one that's high in cineal, you'll see that the reason why eucalyptus is not safe for children is because it could create respiratory distress. So it might make it so that the child cannot breathe. So in that sense, diffusing, you might want to look into it before you decide diffusing with children, or peppermint as well. I see a lot of interesting advice about peppermint and eucalyptus. Sometimes I'll see people say not to use any of them under the age of 10 as a really general thing. I see sometimes being more general and say eucalyptus and peppermint are not safe for kids. There are different guidelines. And what I actually put in the description is a link that is more in depth of like the safety guidelines of using, for example, eucalyptus globulus or other high cineal eucalyptus and peppermint with kids. So if you go down to my description, again, please don't click off this video, save the link for later, watch a few other videos after watching my video. You'll be able to see that Robert Tisserand actually puts out, oh, at this age, you can diffuse it. At this age, you can use this dilution rate for like, peppermint, eucalyptus and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that responds to your question. I know it's not black and white. Like I can't say, oh yeah, don't diffuse it at all. But if you have the know-how of knowing why each essential oil is not safe for kids, it can help you decide, oh, is it actually not safe for topical, like dermal reasons, or is it not safe for respiratory reasons? That might help you decide, and also the age of the child. So it's not super simple as a response, but it's not black and white. And if you know what to look for, then you can make a better decision for yourself. Again, the link to more information on like peppermint and eucalyptus being unsafe for children and safe guidelines is down below. So I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to check to see if I have any. Oh, okay. I see another question. So top 3 favorite oils for postpartum healing down there. I actually haven't experienced that, and I haven't worked with anyone that has had that. So I'm sorry, I really can't answer that. That's a really, really good question. I mean, I have ideas, but I'm thinking even in my certification program, I can't remember what the protocols would be to apply essential oils down there, if you know what I'm saying. I feel like we're not supposed to, but I know people have. I'm not going to comment on it. I'm sorry. I usually do answer a lot of questions that I have. Uh, I'm tempted to say something, but I don't want to because I'm not really sure if it's not something I've touched on in my studies, but that's a really good question. I have ideas, but I'm sorry. I'm going to choose not to respond to that just because I don't want to say something that is considered unsafe, even though I might be open to it myself. But yeah, I'd be looking at I'll just leave it like that. But anyways, I'll end it there because it looks like that's all that we have for questions. So again, if you guys are wanting to buy from Revive or Plant Therapy, feel free to use my link. I really appreciate it. And I hope everyone has a lovely day and take care and bye-bye.